product of a lot of hard work and weeks of personal engagement for me and my team. We've been in close contact with the leaders of Qatar, Egypt, and Israel, speaking with each one of them repeatedly over the past few weeks to help secure this deal. We spoke again yesterday with the Emir of Qatar.
President Biden played wartime president on vacation, shopping in Nantucket while holding press conferences about hostage releases. For a president known to spend more time away from the White House than most, this weekend will either turn public opinion around or reinforce the idea, well, might be a little too old for the job. The polls keep getting worse for the president. Latest CNN poll shows Trump would beat Biden by 4 points. Haley beats Biden head-to-head 10 percentage points. DeSantis up by 2. Biden, Trump head-to-head Electoral College. Trump 292, Biden 246. Chris Stirewalt is here. What do we make of this almost going back to the George W. Bush presidency? I'm on vacation, but I'm going to come out and make statements and talk about things.
Oh, I think the president's the president wherever he goes. And people complained about Donald Trump being at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. People complained about Barack Obama being on the golf course. People complained about Bill Clinton. It's a thing people say. I think for Biden, being able to go out and talk about released hostages is probably a good thing. And people probably don't care whether he's in Massachusetts or Delaware or Washington.
We see this sort of split screen this weekend, right, of Joe Biden kind of being the old school president on vacation, shopping at Nantucket and sort of doing this thing covered by the White House pool, and then Donald Trump flipping the coin at the Clemson USC game. Is this what we're going to sort of see for the next year? President Biden largely in the bubble, Trump trying to be out there stealing the spotlight?
Well, I think for Trump, South Carolina, as Nikki Haley, the former governor of South Carolina, starts to sort of emerge as his principal rival, though at some distance, for the Republican nomination, being in South Carolina, and, by the way, being with Henry McMaster, the governor of the state, who is also a mortal, bitter political enemy of Nikki Haley, dating back more than a decade in South Carolina. That was a good way for him to say, I'm in the lead in South Carolina. Now, of course, if you're a Clemson fan, you probably don't like how that game turned out, right?
Well, somebody was going to not like how that game turned out.
So you may not like how everything worked out. But I think for Trump, this is a good way to flex, a good way to show his performance in South Carolina, take care of South Carolina. For Trump, the moment, if he does, as all things indicate right now, go on to be the Republican nominee, the dynamic in the race changes, right? Because right now, Democrats and Biden, they want Trump, right? They prefer Trump. If the choice was for Democrats, if they could have Trump or they could have Nikki Haley, they're going to take Trump 10 out of 10 times. So I think the character and dynamic in the race changes once Trump has the nomination. The attacks sharpen. Right now, Democrats are focused a lot on trying to make Joe Biden more appealing. They'll be a lot more focused on making Donald Trump less appealing.
Yeah, nothing unites Democrats like Donald Trump does.
That's a fact.
And sort of smooths over many of the divisions they have right now. Who won Thanksgiving weekend, Trump or Biden?
Oh, I think for persuadable voters, neither. I don't think people probably care.
People aren't focusing yet?
I don't think persuadable voters care. I think Trump probably did fine for himself with the Republican primary voters, and he got to have that big moment at the stadium. I think Biden for Democrats continues to be good. I guess if you want me to net it out, I'll give it to Biden just on the grounds that more people care about what's going on with Hamas and terrorists and hostages than they do about the Gamecocks versus the Tigers.
All right. New Hampshire polling right now, Trump 42, Haley 20, Christie 14, DeSantis 9, Vivek 8. Nikki Haley surging at the right moment ahead of the debate?
Well, look, this is the moment where if anybody's going to slingshot, and we've seen it happen before, if anybody's going to slingshot in Iowa or New Hampshire, now is when it begins, right? Now is when you start to see the movement. Ted Cruz came from behind in Iowa in 2016. John Kasich emerged from back in the pack to go into second place in New Hampshire. Haley's on that trajectory, but she and Ron DeSantis have a rendezvous with destiny, because as Haley has managed to consolidate part of the non-MAGA, non-nationalist lane of the Republican Party, DeSantis has struggled, right? He failed to take out Trump. He struggled to unite the other side of the party. The two of those are going to be increasingly at odds between now and January 15th when Iowa goes to caucus. And you'll probably get to see a good bit of that next Wednesday on the 6th of December in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, when a great team of moderators, including our own Elizabeth Vargas, makes it happen.
All right. Chris Stirewalt calling some of the plays behind the scenes. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you in Tuscaloosa. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.